Aviation has a long and fascinating history, shaped by the creativity of many different aircraft designs and the bravery of the pilots who flew them. These early planes pushed the limits of technology, helping build the modern aviation world we know today. While many of those old aircraft are now gone, a few have been carefully preserved, restored, and are still flying even after all these years. These incredible planes continue to inspire people around the world and keep the spirit of aviation's golden age alive. In this video, we'll take a closer look at 10 incredible vintage aircraft that are still flying today. Curtiss JN-4 Jenny. In many ways, the Curtiss JN-4 Jenny can be considered the Model T of the skies. A contemporary of Ford's iconic automobile, the Jenny helped establish the practical foundation of American aviation. It became synonymous with the barnstorming era and was the aircraft that taught an entire generation of American pilots, between 1916 and 1925, how to fly. Designed by a team at the Curtiss Aeroplane and Motor Company between 1914 and 1915, the Jenny was produced in the thousands during World War I to train U.S. servicemen. As the first aircraft purchased in large numbers by the American military, it became one of the earliest mass-produced aircraft in the United States. During the war, more than 90% of American pilots trained on the Jenny, making it pivotal in the early development of what would become the most powerful air force in the world. Before 1927, the Jenny was also the first aircraft many Americans ever encountered up close, let alone flew in. After the war, surplus Jennies were sold at low prices to enterprising barnstormers who flew across rural America, offering rides, performing aerial stunts, and inspiring future aviators. It was rare indeed to find an American pilot of the era who hadn't flown in a Jenny. While it served effectively as a trainer for the U.S. Air Service during World War I, its more enduring legacy came in the 1920s as a barnstorming and mail-carrying aircraft. The abundance of affordable, easy-to-operate surplus Jennies, combined with their versatility, made the Jenny the signature airplane of the barnstorming era and a cornerstone of early American aviation. Boeing PT-17 Stearman. Between 1934 and February 1945, the Stearman Aircraft Company, a subsidiary of Boeing, produced a total of 8,428 Model 75 aircraft for the U.S. Army and Navy, primarily for use as basic flight trainers. The PT-17 traces its lineage to the Stearman Model 70, which was developed privately to meet a 1934 U.S. Army Air Corps request for a replacement for its aging primary trainer fleet. Fitted with a Wright J5 Whirlwind engine, the design was first adopted by the U.S. Navy in 1935 under the designation NS-1. The Air Corps, choosing a Lycoming R685 radial engine, ordered it into production in 1936 as the PT-13. With various engine configurations and designations, the Model 75 became one of the most widely produced and used primary trainers in U.S. military history. Over its 11-year period, more American military pilots learned to fly in Stearman Model 75 trainers than in any other aircraft. The Army referred to it primarily as the PT-17, while the Navy designated it the N2S3. Though it posed challenges for inexperienced student pilots, its handling characteristics allowed instructors to quickly assess aptitude and reassign those who struggled. Constructed mostly of wood and fabric over a steel tube fuselage, the Stearman was among the most rugged trainers built during World War II. After the war, many continued flying for decades as crop dusters and in air shows. Today, surviving examples of this iconic aircraft are highly prized by collectors worldwide. Both LSFM Stearmans spent much of their post-war lives as agricultural aircraft before undergoing recent restorations. Flight experiences are now available in the Stearman, offering enthusiasts a chance to relive the barnstorming era in this classic open-cockpit biplane. Blériot 11. The Blériot Type 11 stands as the most renowned and successful of several pioneering aircraft that emerged during the summer of 1909, a period when aviation was rapidly capturing Europe's imagination. Louis Blériot first flew the Type 11 on January 23, 1909 at Issy-les-Moulineaux near Paris. Principally designed by Raymond Saulnier, the Blériot was a tractor configuration monoplane that employed wing warping for lateral control, a notable innovation of its time. This French aircraft from the early era of aviation gained worldwide fame when on July 25, 1909, Louis Blériot used it to complete the first flight across the English Channel in a heavier-than-air machine. This landmark achievement secured Blériot's place in history and demonstrated the potential of powered flight. The Blériot pioneered numerous design innovations, including a monoplane wing, a tractor-mounted engine, a rear rudder, an enclosed cockpit, a horizontal stabilizer, and swiveling landing gear to enable crosswind takeoffs. Though it appeared delicate, the Blériot was structurally robust and adaptable to various modifications. It became the first aircraft adopted for military use by France and Italy in 1910, followed by Britain in 1912. At the onset of World War I, the French Air Force operated 8 squadrons equipped with Blériot, while the British Royal Flying Corps also deployed several in France alongside their expeditionary forces. Italy fielded Blériots upon entering the war as well. In total, 132 units were built across 5 different versions. De Havilland Dragon Rapide. Dragon Rapid is a 1930s short-haul biplane airliner developed and manufactured by the British aircraft company de Havilland. Despite its seemingly outdated plywood construction, the Dragon Rapid proved to be both economical and durable. Designed to serve regional air routes, it could carry up to 8 passengers, depending on cabin configuration, while remaining profitable for operators without the need for subsidies. The DH-89 first took to the skies in 1934, and over the following decade, a total of 728 aircraft were produced. More than 530 of these were built for the Royal Air Force, where they served under the name Domini in various communications, transport, and training roles. Following the outbreak of war on September 3, 1939, Dragon Rapids were quickly adapted as radio and navigation trainers, as well as cross-channel courier aircraft. As the threat of invasion over Britain grew, the type was also pressed into service as an air ambulance, a role it would periodically fulfill throughout the conflict. Remarkably, more than 90 years later, a number of Dragon Rapids are still flying today, offering pleasure flights and gracing air shows around the world. Douglas DC-3. Nearly 90 years after its maiden flight, the Douglas DC-3 remains in commercial service, a lasting testament to the ruggedness and brilliance of its original design. First flown in 1935, the DC-3 quickly became the most successful airliner of the early era of air travel and was the first to operate profitably without the need for government subsidies. An enlarged development of the popular 14-seat DC-2, the DC-3 featured seating for 21 passengers. By the standards of its time, it offered a high level of comfort and exceptional safety, thanks to its robust multi-spar wing and all-metal construction. Airlines favored the DC-3 for its reliability, low operating costs, and profitability. Pilots appreciated its stable handling, ease of operation, and excellent single-engine performance. The aircraft was met with immediate enthusiasm and, by 1939, accounted for an astounding 90% of the world's airline traffic. Virtually indestructible, large numbers of DC-3s continued flying into the 1990s, transporting both passengers and cargo. Interestingly, the DC-3 originated almost by accident. Douglas Aircraft Company initially developed a larger version of the DC-2 to accommodate sleeper berths for overnight flights. This design, known as the Douglas Sleeper Transport, featured a lengthened and widened fuselage. Although the DST saw limited success, when the berths were replaced with passenger seating, the DC-3 was born. The DC-3 revolutionized air travel in the 1930s, formed the backbone of Allied transport operations during World War II, and enabled many emerging airlines to launch services after 1945. In total, over 16,000 DC-3S and military variants were built. Additionally, nearly 5,000 were produced under license in the Soviet Union as the Lisunov Li-2, and close to 500 were built by Nakajima Hikoki in Japan between 1940 and 1945. Since entering service in 1936, the DC-3 continues to operate worldwide to this day. North American T-6 Texan. The North American T-6 SNJ Texan, known as the Harvard and Royal Air Force Service, is a landmark two-seat advanced trainer that has made a profound impact on aviation history. Designed to bridge the gap between basic trainers and frontline tactical aircraft, the T-6 SNJ played a vital role in training hundreds of thousands of pilots across 34 nations during its 25 years of active service. Manufactured by North American Aviation between 1938 and 1955, a total of 15,495 T-6 SNJs were produced. Often dubbed the pilot maker, the T-6 SNJ was engineered to provide comprehensive training across a spectrum of military tactics. Within its cockpit, student pilots honed essential combat skills, including ground strafing, bombing, and aerial dogfighting. The aircraft was outfitted with a versatile suite of equipment: bomb racks, blind flying instruments, fixed and flexible guns, and multiple camera systems, ensuring pilots gained familiarity with the tools they would later use in combat operations. Later variants, such as the SNJ-5, introduced notable enhancements, including a full-time hydraulic system and a steerable tailwheel. These refinements helped extend the aircraft's operational life well into the 1950s, where it continued to serve as an advanced trainer for the United States Air Force. The T-6 SNJ's contributions to global pilot training and its enduring legacy in military aviation secure its status as one of the most influential aircraft of its era. Today, the T-6 Texan remains a favorite warbird at air shows and in museum displays. It has also frequently appeared in films and reenactments, often standing in for the Japanese Mitsubishi A6M0. Across all variants, 15,495 T-6S were ultimately built. Beech 17S Staggerwing. Created by Walter Beech, the Beechcraft Staggerwing is often hailed as the first true business aircraft. Launched during the depths of the Great Depression, the project was considered audacious. A sleek, powerful, and exceptionally fast biplane featuring retractable landing gear and a fully enclosed cockpit, designed to attract the busy executive on the move. Setting a new benchmark for comfort and sophistication in private aviation, the Staggerwing exuded elegance and prestige, much like the Learjet would in later decades. The aircraft takes its name from its distinctive wing configuration, the lower wing positioned ahead of the upper wing, a striking departure from traditional biplane designs. This bold, racy silhouette gave it the impression of speed even while stationary. Inside, the Staggerwing was equally refined, with interiors lavishly appointed in leather and mohair, offering luxurious accommodations for a pilot and up to 4 passengers. But the Staggerwing wasn't just about looks, it was built for speed. These aircraft were favorites on the highly publicized air racing circuit of the 1930s, where they frequently showcased their impressive performance. The vintage wings of Canada's Staggerwing is a Model D 17S, which accounts for roughly 2/3 of total Staggerwing production. It is finished in the distinctive Beech Factory paint scheme of the era, a fitting tribute to this timeless classic,